Hey everyone, Glimpse here. How's it going? Just quick recap. I've been gone for about a little over a week, and I was planning on making a video before I. Oh, just realized the dailies have reset a bit ago. Okay, I did have a plan to make a video before I left on a quick vacation thing, but plans didn't work out. I got busy, left right after Christmas. I am back home now. I've got some things situated, and it should be all good to go. So, looking forward. Hopefully, here's some more videos in the future. I do want to talk about one thing kind of important to my account: differences. I don't know. I guess you can say differences in my account. But okay, so I got pretty lucky over vacation. I do wish that I had this recording, but I do not. And yeah, I don't know. I was just pulling. Um, did my pull. I got 5-star. Went through it all. Saw it was this. I had one pull left, and I was like, okay, let's go for it. Did this. Everything worked out great. Now here's the main thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about why I did some pulls on this banner and even a couple on hers, even though so I didn't pull her this time. I was actually glad that I didn't. I'm currently at C1. Last time that I pulled her, I got both ratings in 110 pull, which was super cool and everything. But I had her running on a level 70 catch for most of this time. And same thing with my Ayato. I still haven't switched him over to this one yet. When I get it to 90, I'll switch over and fix a few things with this kit. But I had him running on this for the longest time. Okay, now, let's see, I had her at C5 and her at C4. I wanted both of these characters at C6 because I knew that I would be able to find a way to use them if I did get them. So I just started leveling them up, got her 78 to 80, and she's at 60 out of 60. I do plan on leveling her up a bit more, testing it out with Raiden. Yeah, so let's talk about why I did pull on this banner right here. So if you take a, well, like I already mentioned, 2 of these 4 stars I really wanted. Thankfully, I didn't get too many Sayu, because I already have her at C6. Now, these 3 characters I have at C6. So good thing for now, Alhaitham is guaranteed. Just a quick update. I did some pulling just to get both those characters C6, and I was really hoping that I could keep my guaranteed. Luckily, I was able to. There you go. So, just about 50 pity. And there's my last 50-50 that I lost. So, when Alhaitham comes out, I will be all set to go, make a video on that. Pulling him, building him, what I think of him, all the usual stuff I do. But here's why I feel like you should be pulling on certain weapon banners and when you should wait and avoid and everything. So, the majority of players, they'll go through and they'll pull all these new characters and everything just because they think they're new, flashy, want to keep up with the hype, or just have heard too many things about them. And then they'll get all these 5 stars, even like 10, 25 stars that some people will have, and they'll only really play like 3 or 4. I've built a lot of DPS characters, so I do like rotating between a lot of my characters and everything. But honestly, you don't need every single 5-star you end up pulling unless you're like free to play or very small account. Even some free to plays, I'm sure, can just get lucky on certain times, certain banners get more or less 5 stars than other free to play accounts. But overall, you don't need all the 5-star characters you pull. I do feel like if you there's like a few characters that you really love, I feel like you can 100% save up wishes and eventually get one of their best in thought weapons or anything. Now, Alhaitham is coming out very soon. I only have one DPS 5-star sword, and it was the Jade Cutter, which I currently had on Ayato. I was running her on a 4-star weapon. I enjoyed playing Raiden Shogun, but I didn't play her that often. I feel like she's always missing a little something. I know her C2 does help a lot, but I didn't want to ruin my guaranteed, so that's why I'm just going to wait. And I kind of was dumb and risky pulling for these two, but luckily I got them both to C6, because they're already pretty close. But if you're guaranteed and like close to pity, if you're like 50 or over at least, don't go for it. If you're below 50, then whatever. If you don't care about running your pity. Now, okay, so these 2 characters here, I haven't really made like a should you pull for. Ayato, pretty solid DPS overall. Not the best in the game. He's about what you'd expect from a decent DPS character. And he's probably one of the ones I play the most. He does a lot of consistent damage. Raiden Shogun, everyone talks about being like the best character in the game. I ever see one. I hear most of the amazing praise from C2 and above and everything. If you like the character, definitely pull for her, but she's definitely not necessary. I've had her for a while and I don't have her in that many team comps that I play her with. But she's definitely a fun character to play if you like the character and want to invest into her. I have some friends that hit crazy hard with her. I think she's a really cool character. So either of these characters, I guarantee you'll be happy with once you pull them. Okay, now these weapons here. So the Jade Cutter that I had, and did not have Raiden Shogun's weapon, because I just didn't have an extra pole arm for her lying around. I just feel like both of these, even though I really would have preferred this sword for Ayato, which is one of the characters I play the most now, Not my main, but I definitely do play him a lot. So I was thinking it would be very convenient to have a DPS sword for him and for Alhaitham, because I personally am one of the people that doesn't like to switch around my builds or my artifacts. I'd rather have like one character on a really good artifact set and then the second character on a decent one rather than just switching the insane one back and forth. It's just, I just have more fun that way, just being able to switch my team around whenever I feel like having the characters always ready to go. I mentioned in my last video that I think I said that I might switch them on and off Jade Cutter if I didn't get lucky here, but thankfully I did, and I got both of them, literally, in case you missed it earlier. This was genuinely the best weapon pull I could have found. Now, don't look at this and think that it's going to happen to you, because I promise you, like, there's like a 1,000,000 to 1 chance it's probably not going to happen to you. So don't go wasting your primos on this if you have guaranteed or need to save for something. Just, if you really like the characters, either of these weapons are going to be great pulls for you. So it's not that often where both weapons have, like, both weapons are accompanied with something that's at least decent. I feel like this weapon is slightly more niche than this. This polearm you can put on Jiangling, Raiden, pretty much any EM scaling, not EM, ER scaling polearm user. Works good for a lot of characters because it's more of like a support type weapon, I guess. It's kind of like a hybrid, I would say. This weapon is basically suited just for DPS. You can use it for, I don't know, Ayato, maybe Keqing? I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I don't really hear people using it for too many other characters other than Ayato. But once again, niche weapons are perfectly fine with me, like Ito's Red Horn, because I don't switch my weapons off characters. So, I decided to go for this over Alhaitham's weapon because Alhaitham is going to be rerunning in the next banner with Zhao. Now, Zhao's a character I play a lot. I say I have a pretty well invested Zhao, 70 to 23, and then 2800 attack. But I currently already have his weapon. And how luck works, I pretty much know that it's almost guaranteed that I would pull this one before I get Ayato's, not Ayato, Alhaitham's new weapon. So, I decided to pull this weapon right here. And I was like, I'm going to hopefully get this one first try, and maybe this one. I did get this one first, so once again, you probably won't get the back-to-back, so you could have gotten like just the whichever one you didn't want first of the two, and then be stuck with that. But thankfully, I did get both. So, like I was saying, I would have been fine with both. But the main point I'm trying to get at here is just pull on character weapon banners where you feel like both weapons would be beneficial to your account. Because, like, even this polearm alone, I can go ahead and I can throw this on, like, lots of other characters. Let's see. Rosaria, I'm sure, could be fine with it. Jiangling would definitely love it. I mean, like, I'm not saying this is best in slot for any of these characters because it increases, like, attack over the energy recharge and everything. Gains 30% energy recharge as well. Okay, at R1. So I'm not saying this is best in slot for any of these characters. Like, I don't know, it might be for Jiangling. But I'm saying that you can definitely use it on them if you get it, and it would work great. So let's say Rosaria, Jiangling, Yunjin, probably Toma, I'd assume. I know most of his Virgin teams are now scaling with EM, though. And then, I guess Zhongli if you want to do, like, burst support. But you can throw this on a lot of different characters. And if you look here at Ayato's weapon, let's see. I'm sure that this would work fine for... I don't really have too many sword DPS characters built. Okay, so it's just crit rate, so I'm pretty much... It'd work fine for Albedo. I'm sure Keqing, Ayaka. I'm not sure if it would be... I mean, I know it's not a best in slot or anything. I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty solid on her, though. At least as a stat stick, if nothing else. But yeah. And then you can also run it on Kai if you want to do like a DPS type thing. Kazuha or Xingqiu as well, if you have enough of ER built from Raiden. But yeah, so this weapon right here is going to be reserved for Alhaitham. I think it's better to pull on weapon banner. Even, okay, I mean, like, I know this is kind of just like screaming into the void because not her, but I have a decent amount of 5-star weapons on my characters. Most of my DPS, I try to go for 5-star weapons. I don't have any of Hu Tao's yet. Hopefully that'll change soon, but we'll see. So, let's go back real quick to the weapon banner. Like, if you don't need one of these weapons or anything, there's always going to be another option that'll run in the future with something better. You can get by most things with 4-star weapons. I just feel like if it's a character you really love, 100% go for it. You can go for a 5-star weapon over a character that you just kind of half like, that you won't really play and just get for the hype of it. Like, don't really fall into just the hype, because characters come and go out of trends all the time. You'll just be wasting your primo gems if you just spend all your time looking at, oh, what's the next new big character? Like, at one point, it was, at the start of the game was Diluc, and then it shifted to, like, Hu Tao, the Ganyu, Zhao, all these type of other characters, and then it kind of shifted over to Raiden Shogun a lot for a while, and then it went to Nahida, and it's just, like, swapping around between different Archons, different DPS characters. they all kind of come and go like waves. So don't just focus on which characters are new and shiny. 100% just focus on which characters you like, invest very heavily into them, and if you have anything else, you can go ahead and pull for those shiny characters just for like the fun factor. But I think you should just get characters that you really love the design of, you enjoy playing, you think it fits your playstyle. 100% go for that. Invest your resin into their artifacts and their weapons and everything. Don't try to get every character up to level 90 or anything like that. But yeah, so I thankfully got very lucky with these weapons here. You can see that the weapon looks really good on her. And I think I'm going to start building her a little bit more, playing her a little more often. My rating can already hit 100k, and I don't think her stats are that insane. So 2150 attack on field without any buffs or anything. 69, so basically 70 to 120. 263 ER. Pretty solid, and then 65 electro damage bonus. So, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's not the best built Raiden in the world, but I don't know. I might level her up a bit more down the line. But right now, almost all my supports are level 70, because I just mostly focus on supports I can kind of switch on and off the teams. And then just think characters so I can have the most fun playing. So, both her and him, and to be honest, I just really like the swords. Like, like Nyla's signature sword, the key doesn't look that great on her, which is definitely unfortunate. But, yeah, so I've been playing her a bit. My Raiden hits for about 100k with this new weapon. Before, she was probably like 40k, but to be honest, I also did just get Kujusar. So I haven't tested the weapons as like a straight comparison. I might have to do that in the future, depending on how much investment I do end up putting into her pretty soon. But she has been a lot of fun to play, and I'm really glad that I got her weapon as well. It's currently level 80, which I'll probably try to get both of their weapons to 90, because I do enjoy both their weapons. But, like, yeah, don't really go for a weapon banner just because you see one weapon that's new and shiny and then it also matches a weapon you already have. Especially one that you can get on the standard banner. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Zhao, I love his weapon. And I do feel like if you're a Zhao main and you don't have his weapon yet, 100% go for it. But if you're not playing Zhao or anything, and like if you're playing Zhao and no Hytham, 100% this banner would be perfect for you. Because I'm not saying it's a bad banner, I'm just saying it was not a good banner for me in particular. Because, like, I don't really need another one of these, to be honest. I have enough polearm, 5-star polearms, and these other characters don't really need another Jade Cutter. Or not Jade Cutter, Jade Winged Spear. So there's not too much more to that. It's just kind of look at your account. Everything's a case-by-case basis. If you do have any questions, feel free to send them down below. I'll be able to tell you if I think your account would benefit from either of these weapons, depending on who you're playing or who you want to save for, if you have time for that and everything. But I do feel like I definitely made the right choice pulling for these characters in particular and their weapons. I feel like it's just... I feel like 5-star weapons are definitely, like I was saying earlier, not necessary, but they're a very solid boost to your damage. Like my Ito in particular, Redstone was a great, Red Horn Stone Thresher was definitely a great pickup for him. Like, some weapons don't, happy about this, pretty solid. I'm not too sure yet because I do need to switch over to an attack stance because I just have had awful luck with attack stance. But as of right now, I genuinely do enjoy this weapon a lot. And then the Jade Cutter is probably going to be amazing on a Hytham. We'll see. Great weapon, great weapon. Definitely boosts his damage, but I'm still a little bit let down by Sino's damage overall, but it's not the end of the world. Great weapon. This was my first 5-star weapon I got kind of just out of the blue. Great weapon, but it's definitely not necessary. There's better options. You could run him on this with attack buffs, or you can run him on one of these R5s, and I think in some cases it's better, but I like this one because it looks the best on him. It's like basically a signature. Yeah, this isn't one I really pulled for, but it works great. I actually probably prefer this over his main because I like the increased speed. But that's just like some quick talks about it. I just wanted to share a quick message about when I feel like you should pull, because I feel like most people, they go to all these weapons and then they just genuinely can't benefit from them at all. Like when Child's Polar Star came back, it's been like a year, and I got kind of greedy and pulled anyways. And I did end up getting 2 of these Yamiko weapons. I literally still have our last one at 70. But like, this one's just at level 1. It was kind of a waste. That 100% could have gone better. But like I'm saying, if you already have the weapon, I feel like the game's just like destined to give it to you. And like, I don't know, you could get very lucky. You could get them back to back or anything. Probably not going to happen though. But that was just a quick update. Yeah, I've been grinding all the new events and everything on vacation. I am not touching these primos again until Hytham comes out, because I've gotten way too lucky with getting both of these characters C6 and getting both of these weapons without ruining my pity for a Hytham, my guaranteed. So these no standard banner is I'm not going to even consider pressing the button for any of these. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to say that that's pretty much straightforward. If you want the TLDR, just quick in summation, I guess we can say that I might do a showcase with Rosaria soon. I want to get her up to the crit rate to get the max crit rate passive here, because I feel like a lot of people don't really notice this. But so you increase her own crit rate by 12% when you use her E before, and then what is it? This one right here. So when you use her ult, you can increase yourself by 50. You can increase your party member's crit rate by 15% for 10 seconds. Not Rosaria's, but okay. So this one right here, basically just use E first and then Q, and then you can increase your damage or your crit rate by 15% is a pretty solid amount of crit rate. So might talk about her soon. Kujo Sara, there's no one at her C6 in case you didn't know. Increase 60% crit damage to like for a couple seconds of basically Raiden's burst. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much wrapping it up. Like okay, I got distracted again. Let me pay attention really quickly so I can wrap this up for you guys. In summation, like I was saying earlier, go ahead, pull for any weapons you guys want, but just know that you probably won't. Oh, it stays there. I didn't know that. I gotta stop getting distracted. Pull for whatever weapon you want here, as long as you really love the character, you have them built, you want to play them. But just, I'm telling you, really just think about it and make your, like, consider that you could not get it's a very high possibility you don't get the weapon you want unless you have it guaranteed. And it's also a very high possibility that you get just the opposite weapon or you run out of primos or anything like that before you actually get the weapon you want. And there's also lots of other alternatives. Like if I wasn't going for Al Haitham and wanted a 5-star DPS sword for him, I 100% would just keep him on this. Because it's a very, very good weapon. This one right here is also a very good weapon, but for him specifically. So this is like basically his best in slot. But like for things like this, you can always alternate it and then just save your primos for that new character that you do want, or constellations for a character you want, or a weapon for a character you much rather enjoy. Like you don't really need to upgrade from this to this. It's not really going to change anything. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So let me know if you have any questions down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy, and I hope that you guys all enjoyed the video today. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a good day. See ya.